During this week, my research consisted of the Netflix show Sex Education and the audio discussion about the creation of our Connection show. So, as I was already extremely familiar with Sex Education as a TV show, I decided to look at a review of the latest season to gain an insight into the opinions of another viewer. So, whilst this show is very different from our piece, there are so many similarities that lie especially within diversity and representation of different people, different races and gender identities and sexualities, as well as being from different backgrounds, which is great to see the representation. So whilst unable to directly apply this research in practice, one quote from the interview that I like to think about because it also completely describes our show was that it gives voice to the messy, complex experiences of teens in the UK, which I feel completely agrees with the context of our show, but it does voice those experiences about pornography and relationships that were found in the interviews that created our show. So the audio discussion was incredibly beneficial to listen to, as it allowed me to gain such a stronger insight into the creation of this show and the creative elements that we did not know about until we as the students got access to this discussion. So one thing that I found out was that, the interviews started in around 2014, as this show, the same interviews were used for a different show held at the Southwark Playhouse a while back, which is really interesting to hear. I at least thought that these interviews were done a lot more recently than that, but it's really interesting to see that they happened so early on before the show really came about. But it was also incredibly interesting to hear that the writer Abby and the team also actually interviewed actual real porn stars to ask them about their opinions and views on young people viewing pornography at such a young age. This has allowed me to understand the extent of these interviews and the voices these responses came from, adding new meaning to the dialogue in the show as I've now better understood where they have come from and the people who have given these responses.